Good morning, everyone. Today we will continue with the session of career management. We have seen what career means from an individual perspective as well as the company perspective and what is required for career management. Career management is not only an individual process but also an organizational process. And that's why career management concept can be related to training and development, because training and development is the tool that is being used in order to manage the careers of employees. In the previous session, we have discussed what is the company perspective towards career management, what is the individual perspective towards career management, what happens when an individual fails to manage his career, and what happens when a company fails to manage the employee's career. We have also seen how career motivation is very essential for an individual. Career motivation can be developed by making use of three components, that is career resilience, career identity, right, and the various aspects. So today we will see a model of career development by understanding what is the cycle of career management. Career management also goes through various stages, like organization has a cycle, our life has a cycle, career also has a cycle. And when it is moving from one stage to other stage, what is the career perspective that an individual should have or a company should have? That is what we will see through a model of career development. This cycle can become one of the inputs for proper planning and developing the career. So career development is the process by which employees progress through a series of stages. Development is a process, it has to go through various stages. And when you manage that process, you will be able to develop or progress in career. Each stage is characterized by different sets of development tasks, activities and relationships. There are different tasks that an individual has to take up in each stage. There are different activities that he has to engage, and there are different relationships that he develops in each of these phases in order to progress in. If you take an example of yourself, right, you have gone through a cycle of education right from 6 years to now, that is 21 or 22 years of age. There are a lot of stages that you have undergone of learning, and at each stage your experience of learning has changed. Now it has changed because of different tasks, activities and relationships that you develop, and similarly it applies to the concept of career development. So there are four stages that we commonly see in career development, that is exploration stage, establishment, maintenance and disengagement. Now we'll see what each of these mean. Now you can see in this chart an employee's career, an individual's career goes through a cycle. And there are four stages that he sees into his career, that is the exploration, establishment, maintenance and disengagement. And each of these stages demand for a different approach from an individual to manage that particular stage. If you want to move from one stage to other stage, you have to appropriately manage that stage by executing appropriate tasks, conducting right activities and developing. So we'll see what happens in each of these stages. Now when it comes to exploration stage, now we are going to understand the model of career development based on these dimensions, that is developmental task, activities, relationship to other employees, typical age and years on the job. And then understand these dimensions by considering each of these stages individually. So you can see the first stage is the exploration stage. Now the meaning of the word exploration here itself means you're trying to find out something, you're trying to identify something, you're trying to explore something new. And what is that the individual does in terms of developmental task when it comes to exploration stage? So in the task that he performs in the exploration stage are he identifies his interest, skills, fit between self and work. So what are the tasks that he is engaging? In the exploration stage, he is trying to find out his own capabilities, that is interest. Because like we discussed in the previous class, if you cannot match your interest with the work, then you cannot progress in your career. You will not be able to perform. You will not find the appropriate career growth. And that can lead to frustration, stress, and there could be various other effects that you can see of career management failure. And that's the reason in the exploration stage, an individual, an employee is trying to identify his own interest, which he can map with the kind of work that he is going to do. Then he's also trying to explore what are the skills that he has. And depending on the goal that he has set, career goals that he has set for himself, he is trying to find out whether he possesses similar competencies that are required for a particular job. Now, like I was giving an example in the previous class, why have all of you taken up this particular program of, management program, business management program? Why? Because your career goal is to become a manager, to become a CEO, to become an entrepreneur, which requires managerial skills. And to acquire that skill, this is the right course, this is the right program which will help you equip that particular skill. So if you know your goal, and if you try to analyze, if my goal is this, if I want to become an entrepreneur, do I have entrepreneurial skills? Entrepreneurial skills. Now to develop these entrepreneurial skills, if I don't have these entrepreneurial skills, to develop these entrepreneurial skills, what should I be doing? Should I take a professional course in entrepreneurship? Will that help me to acquire the entrepreneurial skills that are required to become a successful entrepreneur? So when you realize that there is a gap, to become an entrepreneur, you require entrepreneurial skills, and you find that you have lack of certain skills. You have lack of certain entrepreneurial knowledge. Then what is the approach that you use? So you can take up certain career actions in that direction so that you can become a successful entrepreneur. So for that you need to know what are the skills that you have, so that you can identify what are the skills required, and then you can try to bridge that gap. Then the person tries to find out fit between self. After the employee has done self-introspection, he needs to, or he does, fit, he finds out what is the fit between his self and work, what I have and what the work requires, so that he is always able to match himself with the work, and he will never fail on the job. He will never fail to reach his goal. And that is what is being done in the exploration stage when it comes to the kind of task that he engages. The different activities that he takes up is helping, learning, and following directions. Helping, assisting others to conduct the task so that he can learn through assistance, acquire new skills, and following directions given by the people who are in the authoritative positions, who are being appointed in order to guide you towards your goal. Typical typical relationship to other employees in the exploration stage is the employee works as an apprenticee or a trainee because he is in the learning stage. And typical age that he falls is less than 30 and years on the job is less than 2 years. In the exploration stage, the individual is trying to map himself with the job to find out whether the job that he is doing, whether he is suitable for that job. He is trying to explore whether he is fit for that job. If he is not fit, then how he can make himself fit, or he should look for some other job. So that is what an individual does in the exploration stage, and after exploring himself, he finds out that whether he is in the right job or he should choose another job to move towards his career goal. So exploration stage is all about establishing your control over the job by finding out your suitability to the job. Now moving to the next stage, that is establishment stage. In the establishment stage, the individual has found his right job and now he's settled in that particular job and gradually moving towards his career goals. So what are the developmental tasks that he executes in that particular stage? The development task that he uses in that particular stage is he is looking forward for advancement, growth, security, and develop lifestyle. Because now that he knows that this is the right job, if he continues to work in this job, he will be able to reach his appropriate goal. For example, yesterday I was quoting an example of become a creative art director. To become a creative art director, you need to get into the job of advertising. Once you know that this job will help me reach my career goal of becoming a creative art director, the person will start performing better on that job so that he gets advancement, so that he gets growth, because every organization will have planned for a career path, a career ladder. You take up jobs at the bottom, and at the top you will find that there are higher level of jobs for which an individual will have set career goals. So once you take up that right job, you can climb up the ladder to go to reach to your career goals. And that can happen when the person has found the right job, and when he starts performing better on that job, and then he starts advancing through the form of promotions, growth opportunities, and moving closer to his career goals. He starts trying to find out security in the job. Now security in the job, like we have discussed it again, that there cannot be job security these days. Because of the competition, dynamic work environment, job security is no more into the industry. What you can try to get is career security and develop protein careers. That is, irrespective of the organization and the job, you will be able to survive because you have the skills that organizations require. And that is the kind of security that individuals develop in the establishment stage. Now because they are established, they know the kind of job they are doing is the right job. They are well aware that the skills required for these jobs is what they have. The security is being developed. And in this stage, they develop a lifestyle, because this is the period when an individual starts progressing. He starts growing and he develops a lifestyle because he is able to get status, identity, his pay scales are increasing, and that's where he develops a lifestyle. The different activities that he takes place during that particular phase is making independent contributions. Now the individual is so strong enough that he need not depend on others to be directed or to be controlled or to be delegated. He makes his own contributions. He starts contributing to the job, to the organization, to the people in the surrounding through his skills. The relationship to other employees is now becoming as a colleague. You can see here in the exploration stage, the individual, the employee was working as an apprentice or a trainee, right? Now that he has found out the right job and he has established himself, he is working as a colleague. So that's the kind of relationship development that happens when you're moving to different stages of career development. The typical age that the person lies in the establishment stage is 30 to 45 years. And this is the peak age where an individual, actually sees career growth. That is, in this phase, in this stage, an employee achieves his career goals. So he sees himself, moving up the ladder in this particular period of time. All the major career goals can be achieved in this particular duration. And the years of job that they spend in this particular stage is roughly between 2 to 10 years. It means people stay committed to a particular organization. They are focused on their job because they want to reach to career goals. So that's what happens in the establishment phase. Then moving to the next stage of career development is maintenance. Now what happens in maintenance? Now if you see, the major career goals are being achieved by an employee in the establishment stage itself. Now once he has reached reached the peak of his career, that is rather than peak, I would say the heights of his career goals. The next stage is maintenance, where what he needs to do as a development task is hold on to accomplishment and update skills. In this particular stage, an individual will have achieved all his career goals. And he is just between 30 to 45 years of age, and he has still a long period of time where he can be in an employment or in work. So what does he need to do now? Because in this particular stage of establishment, he is reached to his peak of the career, and in the maintenance stage, he finds that his career is not getting upgraded because there is nothing about that he can see. Now once an employee becomes a CEO, is there any other position above a CEO that an employee can aspire for in an organization? Because that's the ultimate point of an organization structure when an employee can climb. So when he has reached that particular goal, there is where he starts finding that he doesn't have any career growth. His career has become stagnated. There is a lot of he finds that there is no career advancement at all. In this particular stage, what he needs to do is maintenance. Maintenance through hold on to accomplishments. Whatever you have achieved, hold on. Sustenance is more important. No doubt you have reached your career goal, but now you need to sustain and carry out that particular phase for a certain period of time. So holding on to that accomplishment is very essential, and to hold on to that accomplishment, the individual needs to update his skills. Now this is the time of regenerating your skills, because you have reached your peak of career goals. Now you need to set new goals, because the career goals that you have set, you have achieved. Now beyond that, there are no advancements in an organization. That's where an employee feels that there is career plateauing, that his career is not growing, which leads to frustration, stress, and disengagement. And if you still want to hold down, you need to update your skills, acquire new skills, so that you can find out another career path, set new goals, and keep progressing. Because the moment an employee finds, an individual finds that there is no career progression, he becomes dissatisfied. There is a lot of stress, and that can reduce his performance. So in the development tasks, he needs to hold on to his accomplishment as well as update his skills. Activities that he takes care of in the maintenance stage is training, sponsoring, and policy making. Training because he's trying to upgrade his new skills. Sponsoring is trying to fund other, trying to support other employees to grow, trying to fund other startups or new ideas in order to establish themselves, because now that you have experience, you have achieved a lot, you're financially strong, it is a return payback time, and that's how the employees in that particular stage acquire different types of roles. They get into policy making because they have experience, exposure, lot of skills that they have acquired, and these things can contribute in order to make efficient policies for running organizations. So that's the kind of role that they take up. The relationships, now see how the relationship is evolving from a trainee to colleague to becoming a mentor. A mentor is a person who acts as a guide to others to show them what are the different directions, what are the different paths that you can choose in order to progress in the life. They can become mentor to the organization, mentor to different departments, mentor to employees, and contribute their experience to the learning of the new members in the organization. At this stage, it is important for them to find a new career, but it is very difficult to find out ambitious careers at this stage. And that's why they take up these kind of roles through which they can contribute to their competencies of, for example, of becoming a mentor. The typical age that they fall into in this particular stage is between 45 to 60 years, and years of job that they spend in this particular stage is more than 10 years, where they want to remain stable in an organization without moving from one job to the one job to other job, or from one organization to other organization. They are looking forward for more of a stability and certainty. Then the last stage of career development is called as disengagement. Now see, every individual, now our life also is a life cycle. There is a growth, there is birth, there is growth, there is maturity, and there is decline. Decline, that is moving towards death. So careers also have this cycle. There is always a curve. So exploration, establishment, maintenance, and disengagement. Disengagement is moving out of your career life, work life, or professional life. So what is that? What are the development tasks that an individual takes in this particular stage? Retirement planning, change balance between work and non-work. Retirement planning. 60 years is the superannuation age. If at all you're working for an employer, you get retired by the age of 60. Now what is beyond 60? If you're an entrepreneur, you can decide your own retirement age because you are your own employer, and that's why you can decide if you want to exit your employment. But if you're working for an organization, 60 years is the superannuation age. But then what is next? What is that an individual needs to do at this particular career stage? He needs to do retirement planning. Now retirement planning here does not mean only sitting at home or making financial plans. Retirement planning is to plan of how you're going to spend your retirement by making a balance between work and non-work. Because if you're an employee who is working for an employer, you will not be employed beyond the age of 60, but you still will have the energy, strength, and ability to work. So how you're going to spend your retirement life in a quality work? So what are the different tasks that you can do post-retirement? These are the things that you can plan, and that is your retirement career planning. Because it becomes very difficult for an employee who has been working for 30, 40 years continuously, suddenly after 60 years of age, he has to be non-employed. That also leads to a lot of stress and depression to people once they come out of work. So if you want to well manage your retirement life, you need to plan them in advance by preparing an action plan of what are the different types of tasks that you will engage into after your retirement, so that you can gradually move from work to non-work or work to some work which is of your choice. During this period, people take up lot of other tasks like the mentoring tasks, or maybe becoming a sponsor or investing in other or other enterprises, becoming a consultant to contribute through your experience. These are the kind of tasks that you can take up post-retirement, and for that you require proper retirement planning. Activities: phasing out of work. What are you exactly going to do? Relationship to others is becoming a sponsorer. Now you can see again, trainee, colleague, mentor, and sponsorer. You are moving up. You are a learner, and at the disengagement stage, you are becoming an investor. That is a sponsorer. So that's how career should progress. Typical age is 61 plus, and again, usually post-retirement, people try to at least keep themselves busy with some or the other work for another 10 years. Like entrepreneurs, like if you can see an example of Narayan Murthy. He retired from his business post-superannuation, and now he has become a mentor to Infosys. He's not leading Infosys anymore. He's mentoring Infosys and become a sponsorer for many new enterprises. Another example is of Ratan Tata. He worked till the age of 70, and post 70 he retired from his work and become a mentor to Tata Group. So he extended his work life from 60 to 70. Now he could do that because he is his own employer. But if you are being employed, that becomes very difficult, because an employment has a superannuation age of that. You have to find other types of jobs or work which do not have age limitation. So this is how you can see that the career progresses from exploration stage to disengagement stage. Now this is the career management cycle or process that you can use in order to manage the career appropriately, wherein there are 4 dimensions that you need to take care of: self-assessment, reality check, goal setting, and action planning. What is that you do in each of these? Self-assessment. If you want to have proper career management, self-assessment is very, very essential. What is self-assessment? Use of information by employees to determine their career interests, values, aptitudes, and behavioral tendencies. Find out what is your career interest. Determine your career interests, your values, aptitudes, and behavioral tendencies so that you can map with your career goals. Self-introspection is very, very essential. Self-awareness is very, very essential when you want to choose an appropriate direction. Often involves taking up different psychological tests. Now you can find these days there are a lot of psychologists who are certified and expert in conducting these kind of tests to find out what are your skills and to what could be the different jobs that you would be suitable for. So if you take up these kind of tests, you will be able to know what are your interests, what are your competencies, and what are the job options. This is one of the ways that can help you know your own. Then conducting reality checks. Now reality check here means information employees receive about how the company evaluates their skills, knowledge, and where they fit into company's plan. Once you are self-aware what you require and what a job needs, you can try to create a fit. Once you are aware about these facts, you do the reality check to find out how the company evaluates the skills and knowledge and where they fit into the company plan. What is the company's evaluation pattern? Because individual cannot meet his career goals by himself. Individuals and organization have to help each other to make their individual goals successful. Organizations also have goals. Individuals also have certain goals. These goals cannot be met individually. They have to collaborate. They have to support each other and try to achieve their individual goals. Individual goals can be achieved with the help of organization, and organization goals can be achieved through the individual's effort and efficiency. And that's why when you set individual goals, and when an individual takes up, when an employee takes up a job, he comes with a lot of goals, career goals, like he wants to become a manager. He wants that in 5 years down the line, his pay scale should be at a particular level. 5 years down the line, he should have his own house or a flat. He should have a car. He should be settled in his life. These are the career goals that he sets. And he wants to make these goals successful. He wants to achieve these goals successfully by working for an organization. So he finds that the organization is a means to achieve his personal goals. So when he takes up the job, he also needs to find out how the company is evaluating his skills and knowledge so that he can try to meet the organization's requirement, because he can progress in the career only when he knows or only when he understands how the company is evaluating his performance, how the company is evaluating and valuing his skills and knowledge, so that he can always try to develop that fit, and then he finds that his career is progressing. So that's what is being done in the reality check. Otherwise, what happens is you make certain self-assessments, you find out that you are good at it, but at the same time, you may realize that the company is not valuing your skills. When the company does not place a value on your skills, they will not promote you to the next level, and hence you will not find career progression, and hence your career goals will be not achieved. And that's why you need to create a fit between what you have and what the company requires. Once you do a reality check of what is required, you need to set goals. The process of employees is developing short-term and long-term career objectives. What is your short-term objective and what is your long-term objective? Right? Like we discussed, short-term objectives are objectives which could be achieved in 3 to 5 years. Long-term, at least 10 years. You set those objectives, usually discussed with the manager, written into a development plan. Discuss your career objectives with your manager and write them into your development plan so that you can seek support from the organization to develop your career objective, to develop in your career by seeking the support of the organization. Your short-term career objectives could be working on some kind of a challenging task, working for a particular project, right? Becoming a team lead. These could be a short-term objectives. And your long-term objectives could be becoming a manager, becoming a country head, becoming a CEO, or starting up your own enterprise by taking all of these experiences. So when you define your career objectives, whether they are short-term or long-term, you can map them in your development plan so that you can always have a check of this is your career objective, and to reach this career objective, what is that you need to do. Once goal setting is being done, moving to action planning. In action planning, employees determine how they will achieve their short-term and long-term career goals. Action plan. If this is I want to work on this particular project. 5 years down the line, I should be on this task force, which is an important team in an organization which executes all important tasks of the organization. So if you want to be in that, then what should you do? What are the kind of opportunities you should utilize? What are the kind of risks that you should take to be at this particular level? So that is what you define in the action planning. Certain design factors of effective career management system. Now we discussed so much about career management. This is a very complex task for an individual as well as an organization to manage. And to make it more simpler, these days organizations are establishing a proper career management system which can help them effectively manage the career process of employees or individuals. Now let's see what is that. System is positioned as a response to business needs or supports a business strategy. That is the purpose that you should always understand, that system should be positioned as a response to business needs, not just because the other organizations have implemented, you should not implement any system. It should be the need of your business, only then it will help you achieve the objectives. Employees and managers participate in the development system. It is not an individual task. It is an integrated effort from all the people will be influenced by this particular system. Employees are encouraged to take active roles in career management. Organization conducts a lot of workshops, counseling sessions, seminars in order to create awareness about career management among employees so that they can actively participate. Evaluation helps you to find out the gaps. It helps you to seek the feedback from the employees, and then you will be able to rectify those gaps and improve the system. Evaluation is always essential for improvisation, so you can do that. And business units can customize the system of their own purposes. So you need not purchase a particular system which is successful for some other organization, because every organization context is different. And that's the reason what is good for others may not be always good for you. So you can develop your own system and make it functioning for your organization. Employees need access to career information. Give them access to all the information about career, for career sources, maybe the different types of programs, career programs that you have launched, career opportunities that are available. All these information should be available. Senior management support the career system. Without senior management support, career management systems cannot be implemented successfully. Top management, senior management has to support actively in this process. Career management is linked to other human resource practices such as training, recruiting, and performance management. System creates a large and diverse talent pool. With this particular system, it helps you to create a large and diverse talent pool. That is, you will have people of all variety and all skills, so that these people can be used for any kind of job within the organization. Information about career plans and talent is accessible to all the managers readily, so that they can use these people for any tasks that are required in the organization. Certain elements of career management websites, they can be divided into two: user access and website features. What is that you should put on the user access is you can include a self-assessment tool, training resources, job data, salary information, and career management advice. This is from user access, that is employee perspective of what an employee would require from a career management system. They would look forward for self-assessment tools so that they can identify their own interest, skills. Training resources, if they find out the gap, then what kind of training programs are available which can help them meet the Job data, what are the different types of jobs within the organization? Salary information to know which jobs have what type of a pay scale. Depending on that, they can plan their career goals and then career management advice. On the website features, you can have jobs database, create a job database, employee profile database, matching engine, tools and service assessments online, training programs and development resources. These are certain things that will be useful for the organization. When an individual logs in on this particular career management system, he enrolls himself with his data. Now, what is that data useful for? That data can be used for, used for creating job database of pool of applications. It can help you develop employee profiles. You will be able to get different employee profiles, and if at all you require any vacancies to be filled up, you don't have to go for, calling for applications. You will always have a database from which you can try to match a suitable application to fit for that job. That's what we do in the matching engine. Then tools and services, assessments online. You can conduct assessments online, and you can also do training programs and development resources, which could be useful for the organization. Shared responsibilities and roles in career management from different people. Every individual, like I just said, career management is not an individual's task. It is a collaborative effort. It is the effort from everybody who is involved in this process. So, a manager, HR manager, employee and the company, these are the people who should share a responsibility in career management and development. As a manager should be able to guide his employee on career. He should be able to help them identify the gaps on the job. He should be able to understand the needs of the employees. As an HR manager, you should be able to devise appropriate training programs so that they can meet career objectives of the individual. Conduct appropriate assessments at different intervals so that you get to know at what level the employees are working. Plan for employee progress, career progression through the form of promotions. Conduct workshops, seminars in order to create self-awareness among the individuals so that they can plan for their careers. And a company perspective is investment and support. So each of these people have to share responsibility in the career management system so that this system can be effectively executed. Quickly, we'll go through what is the employee's role. Employee's role in career management is take the initiative to ask for feedback from managers and peers regarding their skills, strengths and weaknesses. Identify the stage of career development and career needs. Seek challenges by gaining exposure to a range of learning activities. Interact with employees from different work groups inside and outside the company. Create visibility through good performance. Now that's the employee's role in career management. Manager's role in career management is being seen through 4 different roles. That is, a manager executes these 4 different roles which can support in effectively functioning career management. And what are the roles, what is that support that they can extend is what we will see in the next class. Thank you.